Hey everyone, this is Corey with Casual EDC, and today I have three pens in front of you here. Not so much to talk about the pens themselves, but to talk about some different materials that you commonly see in the EDC world. Moving from left to right here, we're going to start off with this here. This is a Refine EP1 pen, just a little bolt action pen here, but what we're really focusing on is the material, and the material of the body and the screws on this guy is titanium. So titanium is super popular in the EDC world. You see knives, you see flashlights, beads, all sorts of different stuff. An example of a knife here is a Gareth Bolsham Wari. This has zirconium accents, but is a titanium frame lock. So the whole frame is made of titanium. You see this a lot. Titanium frame locks are super popular. So a ton of knives are in the market made of titanium, and it's a really good alternative to steel. It's lighter weight. It can be anodized electrically or chemically to give you these different finishes. This was once gray, just like that knife was, and I had this sent to EDC Gearhouse and Way of Knife, Michigan, and had this anodized to a nice blue teal color, and they did a really great job, so shout out to Ben and Marcus. But titanium really allows for a lot of customization. As I've already mentioned, it's lighter weight than steel is, and it's really tough too. It's not hard enough. You can't really harden it to make a blade or anything like that, but it's really tough. It'll scratch, it'll pick up snail trails over time, but it's a really durable handle material and makes for some really great applications, whether it is a pen, a knife, or some other EDC type of gear. In the middle here, the pen is a Machine Era Classic, and this is in brass here. So Machine Era also offers one in stainless steel, but as I said, we're talking about the materials, so we're going to focus on brass. So brass is an alloy. It's tin and copper, if I'm remembering correctly off the top of my head, which we'll get to copper next. But brass is naturally antimicrobial, so bacteria will not build up on the surface. I don't know the exact science behind it, but in today's day and age with COVID and whatnot, if you want to be a little extra careful, you can use a pen like this. It doesn't really matter. But if that's something that you're looking for, that is an option for you. Brass is going to be pretty heavy, as it is an alloy of two different metals. It has the molecular properties of both, the atomic properties, I guess I should say. So both of those metals are fairly dense. The copper more so than the tin, but it makes for a fairly hefty pen, and in some cases knife scales or pry bars are a really popular item to have in brass. You will see knife scales like on Swiss Army knives, or there's the Civivi Elementum that I know has a brass version, as well as some other Civivi knives. Artisan Cutlery, I believe, had some brass knives as well as some copper knives. And that's the biggest application you see of it. You do see a lot of lanyard beads, flashlights, not as many pens in bronze, or brass, excuse me, not bronze. But you definitely do see a lot of flashlights and a lot of knife scales. And the reasons are patina. It does pick up some patina over time, so you can see it's still shiny right here where the cap is normally posted, and it has dulled over time. That's just from the oils of your hands wearing down the surface finish, and it creates a really nice naturally forming patina if that's something you like on your gear, just like you'd see on leather. Moving on, we have copper. This here is a tactile turn copper bolt action. This is their mini size, the smallest one they offer, and this has a Timascus bolt here, which I'm not going to be talking about Timascus today, just focusing here on the copper. Copper as well as the brass will develop a patina. You can see how shiny it is near the tip here, where I'm never really holding it. Yeah. Sorry about that, just a little bit of an interruption, but I was talking about the patina forming on this, so just like brass, copper will form a patina. You can see the shiny part near the tip here, where I don't normally hold the pen, and you can see where it has dulled, and it has kind of worn down a little bit, and that is the natural patina of copper from the oils of your hands and oxidation in general. Really oxidized copper will turn to a bluish green tint, but that's really going to take some time from your hand, and I really don't know if it'll happen at all from hand oils. I think just being exposed to like salty air, things like that. Think of the Statue of Liberty. Statue of Liberty was made of copper. Now it's completely green, and that's due to oxidation. Before it was green, it would have turned this dull color here that you're seeing, and that's the natural patina of copper. Also antimicrobial, as I mentioned, and another heavy material, quite dense. You're going to have pretty dense, heavy knife scales or lanyard beads, flashlights, pens. This pen is really hefty in comparison to something like, sorry if I bump the camera here. This isn't a Pilot G2, but it's a very similar pen. This is made by, this is a Zebra? Yes. Zebra Sarsa Dry. So, similar to that of a Pilot pen. Really light plastic, really heavy copper. Just listen to this hit the desk here versus this guy. So, pretty heavy, as you can see. But that's something that a lot of people are looking for when they go with something like copper or brass. They like a little bit more heft, makes the knife feel a little more secure, the pen feel a little sturdier, whatever the case may be. So these are just 3 of many popular materials in the knife world. I briefly mentioned zirconium, which is used a lot on higher end custom knives, as well as Damascus, which is also something you'll see on some higher end knives or even some high end upgrades for some cheaper knives. But all these materials are just one small part of the EDC world. People are always making things out of all sorts of different stuff. I could go on and on about different knife materials, blade steels, handle materials, things like that, but I just wanted to show 3 examples of some of the more interesting and basic, I guess not interesting and basic, but 3 of the most common materials you see in EDC without getting too specific, like blade steels and things of that nature. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little bit of a video here. I thought if it gave you a little bit of insight, or if you have any questions, make sure you post them down in the comments. I'd be happy to give you guys a response with the best of my knowledge. And yeah, appreciate you watching, and have a great rest of your day. Take care.